Well, hello, everybody. Good day, good day. Janet, Brandon, Sassy, brown coat cow. That looks good. What are you eating? How are you, Mr. Martins?
I'm good.
Wow, looks good.
Oh, yeah, it's like just a charcuterie tray my wife Rebecca made.
Ah, perfect.
Here we go. Aaron, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. How's everybody doing?
Doing good so far. I think we're waiting to let everybody in. I don't know if anybody can hear me or not.
I can hear you.
Okay. Awesome. Aaron, hang on 1 second.
You want me to pop out?
Oh, no, you're fine. I think you're okay as long as you're good. So you should be fine. I'm going to send a chat and just make sure everybody is in. So just take a moment. Let me start my video.
Where is everybody?
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Massachusetts.
Everybody?
Hey, guys. I was going to say, is everybody in? Awesome. I was going to say, if you want, we'll wait a few minutes and a minute or two, let everybody come in. We will get everybody.
That's the issue, because that's when I always put the end or the middle.
Well, some of you folks were talking when I first came in to join the meeting. I apologize. I needed to get something set up. And if I bumped anybody off, I apologize for that. That was on me.
No worries, it's fine. It's perfect. That's okay.
So, Aaron, I wanted to thank you for joining us for this event too. We're honored to have you here, my friend.
Well, I'm honored to be here and share it with you. I know everybody would maybe rather be actually in Metropolis, but you know, we make do. And
Well, that's true. That's very true. I'm going to ask everybody when you come in, if you don't mind, please mute your microphones, except for you, Aaron. We had somebody earlier that apparently their kid was playing their record or stereo in the back, and it was getting a little annoying. It's like, you know.
right.
Yeah.
She is like
I'm sure whatever those women were super fly fun. Just need to have it during a Superman conversation. So. Well, I was going to say, thank you again. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Is everybody staying healthy and not going too crazy?
Actually, I think this is getting everybody a little bit of sanity. I think everybody was looking forward to Metropolis after all that's happened, and I think a lot of folks were looking forward to this weekend, and then things went kablooey. And it's like I said, that sweet little thing called 2020 happened, and everybody's plans just kind of went kablooey. So
Isn't 2020 been crazy? Definitely not like perfect vision. What's up, Carlin?
that's true.
Hey, Kristen.
Oh, I was going to say, if Aaron shouts you guys out, you can unmute and say, hey, that's cool.
Brandon, you're so stoic. I thought you were frozen there for a second.
Yeah, it's about nap time.
Hey
Oh,
guys,
boy.
Aaron, good to see you, man.
Good to see you too, Carlin. How you been?
Hanging in there like most of us.
That's right. It's all we can do, right?
Yeah, about 2 months of quarantine, hanging at the house.
Yeah, I tell you.
Guys, I tell you what, we don't have a lot of folks. Why don't you guys just go ahead and unmute? Go and say hello to Aaron, and we'll start the interview.
Hello, Miss
Okay?
Sassy.
Yeah. Go ahead and unmute and just say hey.
Hey, Aaron.
Hey, Aaron.
Say hey, hey.
Hey, Aaron.
Aaron, I was going to say, you got a lot of fans that tuned in for you today.
What's up, buddy?
Young fans. Very young fans.
Everybody good? Yeah, everybody's good, excited. Got your questions ready?
Oh, Aaron, if you don't mind, we're going to be recording it for some folks who can't make it to this event. If you don't mind us, we're just going to post it just so folks can catch what they missed.
Absolutely. That'll be $100,000. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I was going to say, I'm going to charge them a couple of thousand myself, but, you know, if you want to be greedy about it.
Of course, record away. Hey, Mark, how are you?
Good day to see him.
Good day, good day.
What's happening?
You know, not much. Just relaxing in the California sun. Everybody have nice weather, I hope.
I see you now. Now I know who
Yay.
you are. What's happening, bro?
Except for the occasional rain.
Yeah, well, that's good for the plants and the grass.
You got to mow.
You got to mow.
Gotta mow.
When it rains.
Oh, that's true.
Janet.
That's true.
Hey, Mark.
What is anybody learned a new skill during this quarantine?
I
Yes,
haven't
Janet?
Conferencing.
I've
What
become
did you
very
learn,
good
Janet?
at Grubhub.
Grubhub.
I've learned how to use them very well.
I tell you. Janet, what was your new skill?
I've learned how not to kill my kids.
That's always a good skill to learn.
Yeah. 14 and 20, you know?
Oh boy. I was.
Both girls.
Oh.
So that's,
man.
Yeah.
So raise your Don's Leo. You learn to shave without water.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh.
You bet you just hope you don't grow it too long. Then you're just pulling it.
I was gonna say,
See, I haven't been
you've got the
quarantined.
skills to get rid of bodies, so if you need them, just in case.
Right. I learned patience.
What's that?
Yeah. We have to learn that. I learned Zoom. I learned invested in.
I learned Zoom as well.
You did?
Oh, yeah, we all learn Zoom.
Tell you. I learned I should have invested in it about a year ago.
Yeah.
I think we all learned that
should
one.
have.
Aaron, Mom says hello.
Hello, Mom.
Hi, Aaron.
How are you?
I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm fantabulous.
I'm great every time I get to spend time with Sassy.
There you go. That's wonderful.
I think going back and investing in Zoom and Grubhub, either one of those would be good investments.
And yeah, Grubhub, Postmates, any one of those is fantastic. Did anybody tune into the Comic-Con we did live? What was it called? The Internet Con or something like that? IndieCon? We did it with myself and Jeff and Jack and Sarah.
Oh, man. No.
It was posted.
Where? Where was it posted?
Well, I had it on my Facebook that I was, that we were doing it.
You didn't accept my friend request, so I didn't get to see it.
I did. Did I not?
I'm totally kidding. I am kidding.
I was like, wait a second. I thought I did.
I'm totally kidding.
Hello, Stephanie.
I've been going to work every day, so nothing's changed over here.
Wait, you didn't get quarantined?
Not locked down, not quarantined. I'm an essential worker.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you. And how was that?
It's interesting. I work in the steel industry, and our numbers only took a very slight hit. A lot of our customers were still open and working, even when the governor of New Jersey shut down non-essential construction. We were still pretty busy, though half our staff was working from home, but I wasn't. I got to go to work every day. I am the only person who does my job, which is the billing.
Oh, well, that's very important. And it's good. You probably appreciated actually going in when everybody else was
not having some of my coworkers
around, and probably traffic was a lot lighter, or I'm not sure how far your commute is.
A 20-minute commute turned into a 12-minute commute.
Gotta love that.
I got to sleep in a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna grab water. One sec.
Okay. I was gonna say, while Aaron's out of the room,
Hey, look, he's still here.
Are there any of the guys here who are not familiar with them? I mean, it sounds like you guys have had a chance to talk to him previously. I didn't know how many of you are familiar with how he got Superman Return or Superman the movie, and also was in the Man of Steel.
So this is my first time seeing him ever.
I've actually been fortunate enough to meet Aaron twice.
Okay. I was gonna say, if it's like old home week, I was gonna let you guys just kind of visit and talk, but we'll start the interview in just a minute. But he's got some great stories. You guys will love it. Thank you for that enthusiasm. I appreciate it.
Hey, while he's away, guys, who here didn't miss their commute at all? I got no traffic. I got a 45-minute round one way. So
I've only filled up my gas 3 times since being out of work.
I literally picked up 2 hours a day. It was great.
I'm kind of in the same boat. I've been working from home. My commute into Boston is usually like well over 60 minutes. So
I got a promotion and no longer care about money.
I'm going to be sad when I have to go back to the 20-minute commute.
Mine's well over an hour normally, so it's been great working from home.
I've already got that back in Memphis. We're almost fully reopened now.
I'm talking to Aaron. You want to say hi to Aaron?
Yeah, I'm not telling him about Jason Alexander.
Okay, well, this is Lorna. This is Aaron. Come over here. This is
Hello.
Aaron. He played Baby Superman in the movie with Christopher Reeve.
How
Hi,
are
this is
you?
my sister.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good. Glad to hear.
Yeah, I have some information I will tell you.
What's
Is
that?
that okay?
Yes, you can share your information.
I heard that Jason Alexander was an extra in the first Superman movie with Christopher Reeve.
Yes, I heard that as well. I never was on set, but I did hear that.
He was in the rocket ship. The little 3-year-old.
Okay, but I didn't know you heard that. That's all.
Okay, well, he was there too.
It was nice.
Okay.
Nice to meet you. I like
Nice.
your shirt.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you too. Bye.
Oh, bye. Here's a little something to share with you guys.
Oh, we can't say it.
I got to take my screen off. Hold on. Let me take that crazy virtual background off.
Oh, wow.
I love that picture.
There you go. Centered
So
now.
that's the original picture in the frame.
Wow.
Hold it up one more time, a little closer, please.
That I took.
Somebody's
awesome.
doing a screenshot.
That was in the lunch tent on Superman 3. Goes to show you how humble he was.
Aaron, while we were out of the room, we were doing a little bit of chatting, and there are some folks who are not aware of how you got Superman the movie. And I was going to ask if you would mind sharing that story with us. And
Sure, absolutely. So there was a big ad kind of on the radio. I was in Calgary where I lived, Alberta, Canada, and they were, made this announcement. They're having a big casting call for this big movie that they were filming. So we didn't hear it, but my aunt heard it. So she called my mom and said, they're having this big thing. They're looking for, a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old. I have an older brother who's 3 years older than me. Why don't you guys go? You guys should go down. So my mom got us, washed us up, took us down to this big hotel, this big cattle call downtown. We went into one room, met the casting director, and they looked at pictures. They talked to us. Excuse me. They said, okay, go outside and wait. We went out, went in another holding room, waited. Then they took us in to meet with Pierre Spengler. I don't think Donner was there, and some of the producers. And that's how it was. I ended up looking like Christopher Reeve did when he was 3, and my brother looked like him when he was 6. And so we got cast. They hired 3 of the kids of the part that I played, because you can't work long and they never know how a 3-year-old's going to react. And I was actually the second number 2. They had one that was their first choice. But he didn't work out so well, and I kind of was willing to do anything that they wanted me to do, and was great on set. And they and many of you know, but those of you that don't know, they did a photo shoot, like a montage of Clark Kent growing up. So a 3-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 12-year-old, and they were going to do, if you've seen The Omen, you know how Donner did like a kind of montage. So they were going to do a montage of photos of baby Clark Kent growing up. And so my brother was in that as one of the 6-year-olds, but they ended up cutting that. So, he never made it. But I think I have, let me see, don't have any of those photos on me, but I have some other cool stuff, which I will show you guys later that you haven't seen. Nobody's seen it, actually. So you guys get a little sneak peek at some memorabilia I have.
now I was going to say,
Awesome.
Well, now, I was going to say, I had the pleasure of interviewing you for Back Issue Magazine. And for a 3-year-old, you had some very vivid memories of being on set.
Yeah.
And I would love for you to tell them about working with Phyllis and Glenn, because you had some good stories about Phyllis especially.
Yeah, it's everyone's always amazed at how much I remember being, 3, but I really do have vivid memories of 3 and nothing till I was about 5 or 6. But, one of the fondest memories I have is with, Phyllis, and that hug that I give her around the neck in the scene wasn't scripted. I just did it. She was just the sweetest, most caring, kind lady there was. And so that time I just felt like giving her a hug around the neck. So I remember that. I remember Dick Donner used to let me talk into his walkie-talkie all the time, which as a 3-year-old was a lot of fun, and carried me around. And I have pictures, and also the stunt guys. And I remember this: they would throw me like in the air, and I was flying like this from one stunt guy to the next stunt guy. And they actually have pictures. That was going to be part of the montage too. So I remember that. And a special memory I have, and there's pictures of it, is actually me sitting or standing, in the capsule, and Dick Donner just kind of, he's leaning back kind of like this, just chatting to me about, what it'd be like, and this is a thing, and you come from this strange place, and you land in this strange world, and what do you think you would think of? And that's kind of how he directed me. It was never, okay, go here, stand there, do that. There's obviously part of that to get the right shot, but most of it, and that's just how he was as a director, was how would you react? And so there's that. Glenn Ford, I remember a little bit. He didn't like working with kids or animals. So when you have a 3-year-old that every time, the line is said, he doesn't have any family, and then a 3-year-old looks up and goes, yeah, I do. Needless to say, he wasn't too happy. So that's a little blooper I have. I'm sure many of you have seen that. And I remember that why I said, yeah, I do, is because I felt guilty because my parents were literally 5 feet from me. So I felt bad that, they're saying I don't have any family. I'm like, yeah, I do. They're right there. I love them. I have family. Yeah, I do. And so that's when Phyllis Thaxter would say, not around here anyway. So, I remember that as well.
And that's a cute blooper. That's so adorable.
Yeah, it was funny. And then, being on my toes, I remember at the end of the day telling my dad how sore my arms were, from standing, holding them up. So yeah, it was great. Who would have, and I had no idea what Superman was. I don't even think my parents really did back then. And, I don't think anybody knew what a special movie we were making was and what it was going to turn out to be and how it's transgressed so many generations. I can't think, well, there are a few, I'm sure, but another movie that multiple generations can sit around and watch and everyone enjoy, and parents not have to worry about, reaching over to cover their kids' eyes or plug their ears for a special scene or something like that.
Well, that's one thing I did want to ask you about. Like I said, being 3 years old, when did it hit you? Oh my God, I'm in Superman the movie. I'm in this iconic film. Well, what age were you when that hit you?
To be completely honest, it really sunk in and really started to mean something when I started doing these conventions. It was rough as a kid. Kids are mean, especially being naked, you get made fun of a lot and that sort of stuff. But really, when I started meeting all of you and hearing stories of how much it meant, and it's really when it hit and when I really, appreciated it more. And then when I heard back from Chris when he had his injury, I was working on a Western called Lonesome Dove, and most of the crew had worked with him on another movie he did. I think it was Black Fox. And so we all sent him a card, and then I kind of, wrote, from Baby You. And he responded and wrote back to me and said, you know, thank you for being part of such a special movie. So that kind of clicked something there. But then, you know, like I said, just meeting all the fans and hearing the stories of what it meant and how special it was to them, you know, it really kicked in.
I was going to say, when we were first putting all this together and we were bringing guests together and everything, we were getting a lot of excitement. Well, we got this person, that's great. We got that person. We got Aaron. Everybody's like, oh my God, you got Aaron? This is going to be fantastic. This is going to be awesome. So
wow,
you
I appreciate that.
You did. Now,
I appreciate that.
I was going to say, speaking of Christopher Reeve, you have a very unique experience. You did Superman the movie, but then you ended up being cast in Superman 3 as well. And I know that's where the photo was taken at with you and Chris at the lunch.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and obviously Superman 2, you know, is a flashback scene. What's up, Billy? How are you, sir? Yeah, so it was, you know, Superman 2, then cast in Superman 3. I was in Calgary and I was doing, you know, a lot of commercials. I was a local kind of kid to go to, you know, that they didn't have to worry about going overtime and, you know, not being uncooperative. And so it was, they were looking for this kid in the photo booth, and then they didn't really know at the time the connection between it until they kind of saw a resume and that, and then it was like, it was perfect. So that was the first time I met Christopher Reeve, was on set. And I remember shaking his hand and my hand disappearing into his hand as I shook it. Because he was just, you know, he was just this big man and his big spirit as well. Gentle, kind, very professional, you know, definitely into character and into the role, and had a huge responsibility. But then that picture I showed you at lunch, you know, that's him. Another star of the show would have his limo pull up right to his trailer, literally, so there was just enough room for the door to open and that he could get in without having anybody see him or have to talk to anybody. Yet Chris would come out into the tent and eat with, you know, crew, the extras, you know, everybody.
I was going to ask, I don't think I asked you this when we did our first interview. Did Chris know who you were at that time? Did he know that you had been Baby Cal in the first movie?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, they let him know, and they told him, especially in the tent, he knew. And I sat down and we talked, and we joked about it, and he kind of gave a smirk about, you know, being naked, and thank you for representing him well.
That's cute.
So
I have a question.
Sure.
I only have like about 12 minutes left before I gotta get going for the evening. But so Aaron, this doesn't have much to do with Superman, besides the fact that you're attached to someone who inspires me, you know, Superman. Woo, as I drop my cell phone. Woo, and there goes my Zoom. Can you guys still hear me? Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, for working out, I love the marathons that or not the marathons, but the mud.
The Spartan races?
Yeah, and all of that. How I struggle with making myself do something good for me. So I struggle with working out. I struggle with cardio and just exercising. What motivates you? How do you continue doing it? How do you keep fighting to keep on going when you don't feel like it?
Goals. It's plain and simple. You know, I've been an athlete all my life. I was a junior Olympic gymnast and that sort of thing. And so it's just, you have to set a goal and commit to the goal. It can't be like, oh, I'd like to work out, you know, because they often say a goal without a plan is just a wish, right? So, and then a plan, you know, a goal without a plan is just a wish, and a plan without action is just a goal. So I set a goal, you know, I did those Spartan races. I set a goal. I wanted to do my trifecta, and I committed to it. And then I went for it because, you know, once I commit, I have to do something. So it's baby steps. I mean, why do you think you struggle, and why do you want to do it?
Well, for me, it's kind of depression and also giving into laziness. And then, like during the Superman celebration, we have something called a zombie run, and I don't want to be the last person at the Noel Neal statue. So
I'm
there's
usually
some,
the last one at the Noel Neal statue. I usually sacrifice myself if I have an asthma attack.
Well, you have an asthma attack. That's different.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, Stephanie.
Mhm.
If you're not even gonna commit to try it, you're always gonna be the last person because you're never gonna get there.
Well, and so like for the zombie run, I'm not the last. And the very first official zombie run in New York that I did, I was the last survivor, but I wasn't the last one, but I was the last survivor. All my other, I still had lives left, you could say.
Right.
And so after that, my goal was like, okay, I don't want to be the last survivor. I don't want to be dead, but I also don't want to be the last survivor. And so it's working my way up. But when events are canceled, it's like, there goes my whole motivation.
Right. So it can't be about that event then, right? It can't be about one specific event that you're doing it for, because like you said, then if that gets canceled, it's like, oh, well, what's the point? It's really, for me, it's really a lifestyle. It's my nutrition. It's my exercising daily. I have to set a time and I have to exercise and do my workout at the same time every day, because that to me then creates a routine. If I don't, if I'm like, yeah, I'll work out today, before I know it, the day's gone by and I'm like, oh, I'm too tired to do it. And I don't. And then one day goes into two. So
you set up like an
me,
appointment for yourself.
Yeah, like the gym I go to, which is now, they do fantastic Zoom workouts. I'm actually helping coach a lot of the workouts as well, and it's all live and stuff like that. But it's the same time every day, 6:15 a.m. I'm there, I go to work out, and that's what I do. I commit to that. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
setting an appointment for yourself. Okay.
Set an appointment for yourself, and that's the time you do it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, Aaron, getting back to Superman 3, I remember you were telling me that movie has a particular favorite of yours because of your dad being in there as well, right?
My dad, and did anybody else know who else was in it?
Your brother.
In my family?
Your brother?
My brother, and
oh, and your mom?
My mom. You know what part my mom played?
No.
My mom.
She was your mom at the photo booth.
That lady at the photo booth that played my mom was my mom.
Wow.
And then my dad was one of the guys that rescued, where in that scene, Superman changes, goes across in that car, they hit the fire hydrant's, filling up the car. My dad was one of the rescuers.
Okay.
And then sadly, my brother's scene got cut. So after that, he's like, forget it. I'm done with the business. That's two movies I've been and I've given cut. Forget it.
Now, is that why your brother's a Spider-Man fan now instead of a Superman fan?
Yeah, that's right. Spider-Man or Batman. Yeah. So that was, we were all on set on the same day. So it was great. And, that my mom was my mom.
Awesome. And like I said, you just got that wonderful little scene there with Chris. It's really wonderful where he's going through the photos and everything, and he's got that last one for you and everything, and it's just a nice little scene. It's kind of meta in a way that you've got this. You're in the first film, now you're in the third film, and it's just like it's a nice little Easter egg for the fans, I think.
Yeah, it was great, and that scene, where he does that to my hat. Again, that was his ad lib. We did it once without it, and then he did it a couple times doing that, and that's the one they liked, and that was with Richard Lester.
Did you guys get to do like a premiere with that one? I didn't know if you had like a premiere with Superman the movie. I didn't know if you had to do one.
I think they did. I actually didn't, other than Man of Steel. I didn't go to any of the premieres, believe it or not. So, but yeah, I mean, that's another interesting fact. Is other than Chris, I'm the only one to be in the most Superman movies, because I was in 1, I was in 2, both Lester and Donner cut. Then I was in 3, and then I was in Man of Steel.
Right on.
Tell everybody about how you got Man of Steel, because that's a great story too.
So when I heard they were doing Man of Steel, you know, I think I'd been out of acting a little bit at that point in time, and I thought, man, this could be the last Superman movie. It would be pretty cool to be in the first and be in the last. And I was friends with Jim Bowers, you know, and I was talking to him about it, and he said, why don't you, and I think I was in between agents at that time. He's like, well, why don't you just reach out to Dick? And I was like, really? You think I should? He's like, yeah, why not? So I sent an email to Dick. It went to his assistant. 2 days later, I got a response. Next day, I got a call from Dick. How are you? That's great. Yeah, no problem. Think it's a great idea. I'll go ahead and send me your stuff, resume, blah, 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 photo. I'll send it to Zach. And sure enough, week later, I get a call from casting saying, you know, they got my info. Zach wants to put me in it. They don't know where yet or what, but they're going to write me in. And, you know, that's it. 2 months, month later, I hear nothing. And then another email pops up from casting. Yeah, we're doing it. This is the days, you know, you'll be going in and you're filming here and sort of thing. They brought me in a month prior, just to kind of read to make sure, you know, I could act. And I read the part of, I forget who it was now. That guy, Chris, I forget his last name, I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, the funny story is I hadn't been given a script or anything. So I show up on set and, you know, I'm in my trailer dressing room, no sides, or I have sides, but there's nothing in there. I show up, they're blocking the scene, they're rehearsing the scene, and no mention of, you know, any lines. And so then we do one more, you know, they blocked it, blah, blah, blah. Then they do a rehearsal, and then it gets to my line, and it's like crickets. And Zach looked at me, he's like, that's your, all right, go. And I'm like, what am I saying? He's like, you didn't get your lines? I was like, no. He's like, oh. So I felt like a bit of an idiot there, but so then they gave them to me and everything was fine, but I was like, oh, great, here's my chance. And I remember meeting Henry, and my first thought was, after talking to him for about 30 seconds, was like, I hate you. And people are like, really? He was a jerk? I was like, no, I hated him because here's this perfect looking specimen of a man with this beautiful British accent, and then he's nice and funny. It's like everybody got to work to create the perfect human man, and you know, there he is. He was great, and I instantly got the same feeling from him that I got from Chris when I first met him.
That's what I was going to ask. You were in that unique position to know Christopher Reeve and also know Henry Cavill. And I was going to ask about the similarities between these two men.
Brandon. I met Brandon as well.
Oh, cool. That's something I did not know.
I'll tell that story in a bit. It was great. And Henry really he felt real responsible to both keep what Chris did, and also, which I think was very important, to make it his own as well. Otherwise, it was just, you know, an impression of Chris doing Superman, and it would never have worked. So it was great. And then meeting Brandon, I had a day job, you know, when I wasn't acting, because, you know, not all actors act all the time. And I created a bar at the Tonight Show, because Johnny Carson used to have a bar for all the guests. And so I started this bar for Jay Leno's Tonight Show, and I was running the bar, and Brandon was on promoting Superman Returns. So Jay brought me on stage. He's like, not only do you guys get one Superman, you get two. And so that's how I met Brandon, was on set of the Tonight Show.
Awesome.
And then I went to the premiere. He was great too. Really nice, really humble, down to earth, still is, as you guys have all known because you all met him.
That seems to be the great thing as far as casting goes. They seem to find just not only the right look, but the right personality as well. And I know reading stuff that Christopher Reeve had said, and things that Henry Cavill had said, and Brandon also, there's that sense of legacy. That's that sense of you're part of something bigger than anything else you've ever been a part of before.
Yeah,
And-
you know what? It's really weird because now that we're talking about it, I'm thinking like, there's Chris, there was Henry, you know, Brandon, Mark McClure, Jeff East, Sarah, Jack, Margot, all incredible, down-to-earth, wonderful people. Michael Rosenboom, same thing. You know, everybody that seems to be associated with this film are nice, down-to-earth people. And I don't know if it's just a coincidence, if it's Chris guiding in some way, you know, but it's Tom Welling. That was a funny thing too. I think it was Detroit. I went to Detroit Comic-Con and I was on the plane next to Tom and he had no idea obviously who I was. And I'm sitting and I look at him and I go, you realize I was Superman before you were. And he looks at me like, who the heck is this guy? And then I told him, like, you're going to Detroit Comic-Con, so am I. And I told him the story. He's like, get out of here. You, because the naked lifted. I was like, yeah. But nice guys.
Oh man. Well, I think it's like an obligation or something on the casting. It's like, don't hire a jerk.
Yeah, you know, I guess so. I guess that's what it is. So here's a little, I don't know, can you guys see that or no? Do I have to take it out?
Yeah, we can see it.
So that's, says, thank you, best wishes, Christopher Reeve. That was an autograph I got on the set of Superman 3 from him. And I also have, let's see here. Here is, see if you guys can all see that. If you can't, let me know. So this, I'll read it to you too. Dove Mead Limited, Superman 3, Sunday, August 29th through Tuesday, August 31st, 1982. This was call sheet from Superman 3. Original call sheet with a little map to the farm. Here is another one here. This was Superman the movie. This was the call sheet. So call sheet is basically what they send you, what's going to be filmed that day, which scenes are going to be filmed that day. What's up, Mr. Doug? And so you can see, let me try and get this. Can anybody read that? Let's see here, hold on.
Exterior, Clark Kent Farm.
And then can you see these names here?
Yeah.
Gotham Robertson.
Ford, Phyllis Saxer, Jeff East, Diane Sherry.
So this is the cast list, an original cast list call sheet from Superman the movie with all those people's names on it. And then again with the directions, which I won't tell, to the farm. And look here. So remember I told you guys about the stills montage?
Sorry.
Oh, cool. So your brother is Travis.
My brother's Travis, yeah. And then you can see there the three Clark, or the three H3 Clark Kents.
You guys should have started a band, the three Clarks. That would have been cool.
So there's, you know, there's that. Then I have some other, you know, this is like an original, this is from like the Calgary Sun, the big newspaper there with that scene. There's me and my mom.
Nice.
I have a contract, the contract with Peter Spangler's autograph, or not autograph, his signature from signing it. Let's see what else. I had something else in here. Then, you know, I've got, you know, you probably can't see because it's under plastic, but these are all autographs that I got from set. I've got Jeff East, Phyllis Thaxter. It says, to little Superman, best wishes, love, Ma Kent, Phyllis Thaxter. I've got one from David Petru. You guys know who David Petru is, right? He wrote The Making of Superman. He was also my stand-in. He was one of the only smaller people that could fit into the capsule. So he went in there when, because of the light, it was 80, 90 degrees in there with all the lights in there. So they didn't want me in there for, you know, an hour while they were trying to set up the scene. So he would go in there to test the opening of the lid and all that sort of stuff. And then another memory was I was in there for a good 5 minutes prior to the capsule coming open as they were setting up, rolling. And afterwards they cut, great, done, that's a print. And they're like, so what did you do in there, Aaron? And I was like, I just sung "O Canada."
That's something I guess I never really thought about, them having a stand-in for you and everything. Because I know with the scene with the truck and everything, they couldn't have used you the entire time. So.
No, I mean, there are pictures of me. I've got like a blue robe on where I'm standing under there just to get the right height, that sort of thing. And then standing on my tippy toes they didn't get the height quite right, but I went under there and I just went up to my tippy toes, and Dick's like, that looks great. Let's do it like that. The stunt coordinator, who was literally 3 feet away during the filming, was Gene Hackman's brother, Richard. So he was there ready to grab me, and because there was only one cable holding the truck up.
I remember Jeff telling me about the stunt where he was supposed to be going across the train, and so that was hair-raising for him.
That was hairy as well, yeah. Keep in mind, it was, 78, 77 when they filmed it, so.
Yeah. Well, a lot of folks, I know a lot of folks nowadays, I've heard some kids talk about, well, it's a good movie, but the special effects aren't as good. And it's like, it was groundbreaking for 78. I mean,
oh yeah,
you had Star Wars the year before, and
right.
Superman took it up to the next level in so many ways.
Right, absolutely. Absolutely. Any questions?
Aaron, you still there, bro?
I'm here.
Hey, listen, have you ever produced a film of your own, even if it's a short? When
Did you freeze it?
Canon films a long time ago. But have you produced your own film?
I did. We never did anything with it, but it was a great script. A friend of mine, who was a director, actually directed a lot of TV, directed a lot of Beverly Hills 90210s and other stuff. He wrote it and just kind of buried it, and it was a fantastic script. So I just wanted to do something with it. So we produced a couple scenes from it and that. But other than that, nothing real. I love the movie making, business in general, and behind the scenes and that sort of stuff.
Wow. Well, given the proliferation of things like YouTube and the internet and so forth, do you think Hollywood's going to totally change? What's going to happen?
I mean, it already has. So definitely, especially with the pandemic and all that sort of stuff. It's going to keep evolving, and it should keep evolving. And I think the biggest evolution that, I've noticed, and I'm sure everyone else has, is the growth of independent features and shows and all that sort of stuff. I noticed a big change when, I was working my way up and doing stuff and, doing a lot of guest stars and leads and that sort of stuff. And then it shifted. You would get a lot of movie stars that were tired of the movie star game, the movie game, and wanted to have a family life and wanted to just settle down. So they started doing TV. Sure. That was the biggest shift in the business. That's, I think, kind of propelled how everything else has gone from there.
Right on.
Great question. Anybody else? Ask away. I don't get offended. Yes, down there. I'm going to say Candy, but I know it's not Candy.
No, it's not Candy. It's Travis, actually. Hey,
that's my brother's name.
Oh yeah. You mentioned indie film. Have you ever done anything with Kevin Smith, or ever been approached by him? It seems like he's a celebrity. It seems like he might be interested in someone like you for one of his projects, also.
Yeah, I've talked to him about some stuff, and it's look, in the business, you have to be your biggest promoter as well. And just being honest, that's probably my biggest downfall, is I just don't talk about myself. I don't like to promote my, whatever, go after. It's kind of like, if they want me to do something, then, they know how to get a hold of me. If they don't, they don't. I'm not going to, force myself. So it kind of was like, yeah, well, he wanted to do something. I think it'd be great because he's a Superman fan, comics and all that sort of stuff as well. I didn't follow through probably as much as I should, and he was too busy. And so nothing ever came of it.
I mean, I know he has like 12 podcasts. I still waiting for you to maybe appear on one of the podcasts too. I figured that would be a first step, maybe.
Well, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll just reach out.
Aaron, I was going to ask, have you ever been approached to do Gilbert Gottfried's podcast?
No, haven't been. And I think, again, part of it is just, I don't self-promote. I don't have a publicist, and that sort of thing. I'm sure if I self-promoted more and did stuff, people love the Superman, not so much, my part or whatever, but just having somebody from the Superman franchises come on and talk a bit about it, I'm sure, would be great for everybody.
Well, like I said, talking to you for Back Issue, again, for 3 years old, you had some very good memories. And that's the kind of stuff that I know Gilbert eats up. Plus the connection with Superman 3, the connection with Man of Steel. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that he would eat up, I think. And
And the story everybody knows about how they got me to come out naked. It wasn't just I was like, here you go. It was, they had to bribe me, and there was candy and soda and gum involved and all that sort of stuff, which is a funny story. They, for those of you that don't know, I was shy. I was like, I don't, there's 20, 30 people, I don't want to just come out naked. And it was like, well, here's a six. You want a 6-pack of Coke? I was like, no. Do you want this? No. What do you want? I like gum. And there's a picture of Dick Donner's got a pack of Dentine. He's like, here, perfect gum. And I was like, no. They're like, no. They're like, I'm like, I want Juicy Fruit. And Dick's like, anybody got any Juicy Fruit? And they happen to have a pack of Juicy Fruit. They gave me a pack of Juicy Fruit, and then I was like, okay, and that was kind of it as well. So, and snow globe. Dick actually, I have a snow globe that Dick bought me when they were filming in Banff, and I still have that. All the water and stuff is gone, but
Oh man. I'll be honest with you. If it were me, I think I'd have to have more than a snow globe and a pack of Juicy Fruit. That's just me, of course.
I don't know.
Again,
was for free.
It was great when I was, dating in my late teens, early 20s. I was like, come on, you've already seen me naked.
It's like you're obligated. I got to see you naked now, so come on,
That's right. It's good for the goose.
I'm from Canada. It's the law up there, so American girls, they don't know any better. So
right.
Well, I did want to ask. I know, like I said, with being in Superman 3, Man of Steel, and all. One of the great things with producers nowadays is that they love doing these kind of Easter eggs. Like I said, getting actors who have been in previous productions for different heroes and such. Is there anyone in the Superman mythos you would love to tackle? Is there any role in the Superman mythos that you would like to do yourself? You get the opportunity.
Lex.
Right.
There's a film. It's actually independent that we're kind of working on, and it's been going on for a few years. Superman versus Doomsday. And you guys know Josh Bothinghouse, right?
Uh-huh.
He's cast in it as Superman, and I'm playing Lex in it.
Awesome.
So it's just a case of get it going. But that's I love playing the villain. I did a TV movie, a number of them. I did one with Scott Foley, and I played not a very nice guy that everybody thought was nice at first in that. And that's probably one of my favorite roles I ever got to play. So I'd love to play Lex. That would be my first, and then Jimmy Olsen would be my second, just for the comedy.
Cool. Well, I was going to say, we're approaching 7:45 right now. I was going to ask, is there anyone else has any questions? This is a golden opportunity.
Carlin, are you lit up?
Yeah. When was the
I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Me neither.
When was the
Hey, Carlin, can you do me a favor? Can you type it in the chat? Because anybody else having a hard time hearing him?
Yeah.
I can't hear him.
Go ahead and type it in the chat.
While he's typing, does anybody else have any questions?
If they ever bring back Tabletop, I'd love to see Aaron on there.
What's that, Kirsten?
If they ever bring back Tabletop, I'd love to see you on there with Will.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Janet, yes.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I was wondering, what is your most favorite fan interaction that you've had?
All of us.
You know, it's gonna sound cliche and cheesy, but I don't have one specific interaction that stands out. I'm really sincere and serious that meeting everyone and hearing all of your stories and what Superman means to you, experiences. It was the first movie I saw with my parents. It was that, you know, are incredible to me, and they really do mean a lot because they're all different. You know, everybody has a different story. Everybody has a different meaning to them, and so I love hearing those. You know, and I try my best when I go to these conventions to talk to everybody and hear their stories, and I really try to personalize my signature and what I write on everybody's picture to something that ties them, you know, to me, that I know about them. Because you guys put so much time and effort and money, you know, into coming, that I really want it to be as special to you as it is special to me. So as cliche as that is, I'm sorry if it's cliche, but one specific,
I like it.
you know, fan interaction. All right, let me read Carlin's here. Cheap day. Here's some going. Yeah, it's for stay. When was the Lex roll planned? The Lex roll has been planned for like 3 or 4 years. The person that was kind of doing it wrote it, got sick. He's a magician. He went on tour, and then it came back, and we were starting to get back into it. And then, you know, the pandemic happened. So it's been kind of planned. There was like 3 different scripts we wrote that, you know, because I'm executive producing it as well, that we've been working on. So it will happen. We just, it's got to be right.
Was the magician Strebler? Morgan
Yeah.
Strebler? He's a great guy.
He's great. Yeah. Yeah.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah. We can hear you much better. Yeah, Carlin.
Okay, that is really weird, but okay.
So yeah, so that's.
I changed screens, quite literally. That's all I did.
Yeah, that was weird. Anyone else questions?
What's the experience like when you watch the movie today? Is it kind of like do you get memories of it being there, or can you like let yourself out of that experience and kind of enjoy it as a movie? Like, what's it like for you?
Well, first off, I can never really watch a TV show or a movie without being cynical about it, because I know exactly what's going on and, you know, what's behind the scenes. So to what I can't, I have kids, and watching it with, you know, them is for the first time was the best thing I've ever done, you know? So I watch it now, and it's, you know, it's neat, and different memories flash back every time, you know, I watch it. So, and same with Superman 3, you know, it's fun to watch. My kid, you know, the kids get a laugh at it.
Now that's an interesting question. When did your kids realize that's Dad on the screen? That's Pop up there with Superman.
I think a friend of ours mentioned it to them, and that was the first time they heard about it. And then, you know, they got a trip at, you know, telling people at school, you know, my dad's Superman. And then the other kids are like, yeah, so's my dad. They're like, no, my dad's Superman. So they just think it's funny.
That's cool. Well, that is great. I mean, you got something you can share with the kids. You got something to share with the grandkids, and it's that family story. It's like great grandfather was Superman. That's awesome.
Yeah, they trip out a lot when they see, you know, like me on a poster or me on garbage can or you know, stuff like that. I have, you know, or the bubblegum card.
Have they ever done conventions with you?
No.
I was going to say, part of watching the fan interaction, watching people come up to your table and all, that would probably be really trippy for them, I think.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's my dog's eating a tree. Marcus, Stop. And that just kind of, for especially when they were younger, I just didn't. I just wanted to kind of keep that separate from them as well, and focus on the fans and that sort of stuff.
I was going to ask, did anyone else have any other questions, or?
Anybody want any juicy gossip? I don't have any.
I mean, you can just tell us some juicy gossip.
So
I was going to say it depends. What do I have to do to get it? That's the only thing.
Right.
Juicy fruit.
So
I may have some.
oh, perfect. Jeff, they had to hide Jeff East out for like 2 weeks because Diane Sherry's boyfriend was coming into town, and Jeff and Diane had a little thing. So they literally like Richard Hackman, and they had to hide him out for 2 weeks. So there's a little juicy gossip. You didn't hear it from me though.
I heard you both of them for that back issue piece. Neither one ever said anything about that. I'm like, I said, what was the gossip? Like, oh, no gossip happened. And I'm like, of course. I got to go back and talk to both of them now.
There's a little gossip. I think Jeff's talked about that once, I think, after he visited the hotel bar. And if you guys ever get a chance to talk to Jack about his history and stuff, just, man, it absolutely incredible. The best, other than you guys and meeting you all, the best thing about going to the convention with everybody is sitting back and just listening to Jack and Sarah.
Well, now we've got Jack scheduled for tomorrow. If you want to join us, you're welcome to. We'd love to have you come in for that.
Maybe I can. I'll have to. What time?
Let's see. I think we got him for 5 o'clock, I believe. I'll double check the schedule and I'll drop it to you in Messenger.
Okay. Ask Jack about the time people didn't get paid.
The none. The Superman do.
Cool. I was going to say,
ask him about that story.
I was going to say,
it's at 4 tomorrow.
So you get that. 4 o'clock? Okay.
4 Eastern?
That's what I could do.
I'm not making it 6 o'clock Eastern, so it may be 4 o'clock that time. Central.
Well, it's 4 o'clock my time, 1 o'clock his time.
Okay. Anyway, ask him that question. That's a good one. I'm gonna
Wait, what question in the time that people didn't get paid?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So ask him about that.
Ask him if Richard Donner ever offered him juicy fruit too. We got to find out about that also.
He's such an incredible man, Dick Donner. I was down here. I booked a pilot, so a pilot is before a show goes to series. They film a pilot that they pitch like to all the networks, basically, or the network has already bought the pitch, and now they're going to film a pilot to see how it tests. And I needed, because I was Canadian, I needed somebody to vouch for me that why should they hire a Canadian instead of a U.S. citizen? And that was the first time I talked to Dick Donner since Superman. I just reached out and got his assistant, told his assistant who I was, why I was calling. Assistant said, oh, 1 second. Dick gets on the phone. 2 days later, I had a letter from Dick Donner saying that they should hire me, and I got it.
Awesome.
So that's just the type of person he is.
On all accounts, he's supposed to be a real stand-up guy. So.
Yeah, he's great. But then he asked me for juicy fruit for doing me a favor. So.
2 packs.
That's right.
It's inflation, Dick. It's gone up. It's going to be 3 packs now.
Yeah.
Next time you're in Metropolis, you better watch out. There's gonna be juicy fruit.
There's going to be juicy
People
fruit.
be giving you juicy fruit.
There will be.
You're going to need a flipping basket to carry it around.
I was like, do they still sell juicy fruit?
I tell you, I'm going to have to wear like 40 layers of clothing because every time I get a pack of juicy fruit, somebody's going to expect a layer to come off.
Aaron, what we'll do is we'll sell the juicy fruit and all the money goes to charity. It's like, how far are you willing to go? So
perfect. Start bidding.
Right.
I have to go to the gym twice tomorrow now.
Aaron, I'll tell you what. I will join you, and for every dollar I get, I will not take off a piece of clothing. You're gonna make the church is gonna make a fortune.
Doing the GoFundMe.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I appreciate you all taking the time out of Saturday, to be
We
here
appreciate you.
and listen to me tell a few stories. I hope I answered. I hope I gave some neat little background. I hope I, solved your curiosities. I hope I fed your questions. You're curious. If you're not, if we're not friends on Facebook, go ahead and friend me, and I'll accept it. And if you have questions, please go ahead and ask. I often say, without fans, and that's in anything, entertainment, sports, music, whatever it is, people couldn't do what they do. So you guys, are the real heroes, and you guys are what allow us, entertainers, musicians, sports athletes, to do what they do and all that. So we appreciate you. At least I do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you, Aaron.
I'm gonna say, give him a big hand, Aaron. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
give it up.
guys.
Yay.
That was my big.
It's been an honor having you with us, and you have a great rest of the day. If you want to join us for Jack tomorrow, please, we'd love to have you.
You got it. Sounds good. 1 o'clock, right? Same bat time, same bat channel.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Super time.
Ceci will be doing Jack's interview tomorrow, so she's gonna
Yeah.
be doing that. So.
Oh, well, message me. I'll give you some questions to ask him. You can watch
Okay.
him.
I'll message you.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Have a great rest of your day, and a little motivation for a Saturday is, remember, nothing in this world has meaning except the meaning we choose to give it. So give it a good meaning.
That's
give
deep.
it not a good, whatever meaning you choose to give it is the meaning it'll have. So
Nice.
That
right.
is words of wisdom from Superman right there. So there you go.
All right. Be well, everybody.
Bye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Girls.
Guys, thanks for coming out for the meeting. I hope you guys had a great time. This wraps up my portion for the day, so I'm going to get ready for tomorrow. But I know there's some other cool stuff going on. I think